I've always loved the African proverb, "It takes a village." The full saying is, "It takes a village to raise a child," but to me it resonates just as it takes a village. When asked to think about Hineini, for me it means, Hineini, here I am as part of our village. I'm a clinical social worker by profession. I've worked in a child welfare agency, a family service center, in the public schools, and currently I work in a hospital setting. I help people who need a variety of things, from assistance filling a prescription to psychiatric care, adopting a baby, or making end-of-life decisions for a loved one. I am always stunned and blessed with the opportunity and gift when people share their life stories with me and trust me to help them and to care. I'm so blessed to be able to have a job where I am allowed a part in people's deepest and often hardest and most painful moments. Often it takes a lot of courage to ask for help and to be able to receive it. Hineini. When Rabbi Cohn called me to share tonight, it was because of a story a friend had shared about joining my family to help together at a city in the shelter. The experience had actually started a few years earlier when my daughter, who's now a freshman, was in Girl Scouts in elementary school. Her troop leaders arranged for the girls to go to a shelter in the city and while there, prepare and serve a meal to the guests who were residing there. I was able to go with to help. It is a unique shelter, one where guests, once accepted, are a part of a program to help them get their lives on track, given support as they work on issues that have brought them to this situation: substance abuse, mental illness, lack of education and skills. While living there, they are provided with food, shelter, and the tools needed to address these issues. The girls took care in preparing the meal and serving it. A beautiful part of the experience was watching the girls interact and talk with the guests of the shelter. My young daughter came home and over the next few years, intermittently but persistently, would ask me to go back. She wanted to share the experience with her dad and her younger brother, who she knew would love it. As a family, we have donated and participated together in volunteer activities at Temple, in the children's schools, in various events, walks for different causes, and delivered food for Mayot team. They were easy opportunities because one really just needed to be present. In order for us to volunteer as a family at the shelter, I had to go through an application and interview process and participate in volunteer training. Not that I didn't think it was worth it, but as we all know, life is really busy. Friends, family, work, etc. I wasn't exactly moving quickly to get through the process and make the time to drive to the city for the application, the interview, and then the training. And I also felt that given my professional experience, I really didn't think I needed it. But my daughter and my son, who because of her really wanted the experience, totally motivated me to follow through. Once the process was complete, we made plans to go to the shelter. There are few Jewish volunteers at the shelter, and volunteers were needed to provide the Easter holiday meal. We signed up and invited our good friends, the Shoreses, and my brought-along friends as well. From planning the menu and grocery shopping, to going to the city to cook, to clean, and to serve, our kids were actively involved every step of the way. As we served the holiday meal alongside our children, we were so proud. Our kids were polite and gracious hosts. They served with respect and with dignity. They were confident and unafraid. They spoke with the guests, as it is strongly encouraged as part of the experience to talk and be with them as individual people, not as just the homeless. Our children worked alongside other volunteers, the other volunteers being former guests who had graduated from the program and come back to give and help others as they were helped. I didn't write this down, but you have to understand the kids started at the age of 5. It was like ages 5 through 14. Okay, sorry. My kids saw Hineini, here I am to help, but they also saw but for the grace of God, as they were humbled, as was I, not only by these amazing other volunteers, but when one of the guests was a childhood friend of my sister's and mine who had grown up very similarly to us, but whose life had taken some very unfortunate turns. I was blown away by his situation, but also because of his generosity in appropriately sharing his story with me and our kids, and the gift of being able to use it as a teachable moment for all of us about where decisions in life can take us and what it is that really defines who we are as people. When I think of the blessing of Hineini, the gift of being able to be present and to be a part of a community, a village, I know that yes, I love being able to do what I do, but I can do because my husband says Hineini. I am here so you can be there. My children say Hineini. My family, my friends, my colleagues, and my bosses at work all support me so I can say Hineini.